And his reply was sort of, he turned around and he said, well, you only have to look around you. And perestroika was supposed to be, you know, rebuilding, reconstruction of their economy and their whole society. And I think similarly with this problem is, first of all, Minister, I think we need to look around us. I think we need to look around. If you walk around this Parliament here, just outside it, if you look around, you will see the problems. And that's all. I suppose if we even got an agreement tonight that many of the TDs who are absent here, but many of them at some stage might walk around and actually open their eyes and see what's going on. And we might have a perestroika number, a coffee moment, or whatever. But I think it's important that we actually do this, and I think there's general acceptance that there's a crisis there. So the next step is, what do we do about it? And we're genuinely putting forward proposals that we hope that government or someone will listen to. And I don't think we're the only ones that are putting forward solutions to the problem. But there are problems out there, and that's what I want to try and address. There's already been figures given in relation to the amount of households that are on housing needs right across the state. We know from our own constituency offices about the extent of the problem. This week, Minister, I had 3 families into my constituency office that were homeless. Now, there was a time when they came in and you could say, well, you go to this and go to that, or maybe go to rental allowance and so on. But there's absolutely nothing I can say or do. My job is a problem solver for many of these people. I'm trying to give them a bit of direction. But there's nothing, I can't direct them anywhere. I can direct them to homeless services, but the services aren't there. So it's a huge problem. I had a family who were living in a tent in the Priory in Tala Village. They're living in a tent in this day and age. I've other families that are living in cars. I've another family that have a one-month-old child. 1-month-old child, and they're couch hopping. Because in some cases they're staying with relatives and staying with friends and so on, but they've nowhere to go. Now again, the stock answer is get rented accommodation, but there is no rented accommodation for that family in my constituency at the moment. And I challenge anyone that will get that under a rent allowance or anything else, they will actually get that funding. I can't direct them to that. So that's now we've identified, you can say it's foolish and all the rest, we've identified possible funding avenue there. And we're saying that there's a crisis there in housing. So how do you solve that problem? Well, we need to build more housing. So it's a matter for us all, collectively, even if this House is to do nothing else, that we come up with some sort of solutions that will actually work. Now, you're talking about empty houses. There's houses there in Tala that are empty at the moment. They were built, Respond housing with the local council. There's an argument between the housing agency and South Dublin County Council, and there's units there vacant over 2 years, maybe 3 years. And they're sitting there, and at the same time we have people walking up and down the streets. Now, if there's anything you can do on that, Minister, that's a positive thing you can do. It's a row between the council and the housing agents. Glen-na-Horna is the area. So that's something that practical we could do in this House if we decided to do that. The rent supplement is not enough in my area, and that's a problem. In this man's area, if you're looking for to get housed, the waiting list is 4 years, possibly, for a family. Do you know what is in South Dublin? 8 years for a family. So that's the difficulty. So if I've someone coming in with a child of 2 or 3 or 4 years of age, they're not long enough on the list, they've no chance. Big problem at the moment, single men, splitting up with the partners and all that, they've nowhere to go. So there's any amount of cases, Minister, I can give you in relation to people in these awful situations. One woman, 73 years of age, nowhere to live, estranged from her husband. She's nowhere to live. Again, I've someone living in a garden shed. What are they paying? 650. Converted garage, 650 a week. after losing the family homes, you know. So there's loads of cases like that. So all I'm asking is maybe we could have one of those perestroika, a coffee moments, call it what you will, but I'm just saying maybe walk around the city, have a look and see what's wrong, and maybe we can collectively come up with answers for it.